takes me back on top. Don't you worry, babe, I'll take care of you for the rest of your days in this room. You'll be here with me, the rest is history. I love you. If it's not me, then I will cry and I will find the one you call love. She could run, she could hide, but I'll show the world what I'm made of. Lock and load, rope is tight. The last time she will call your name is last night. No one here in the way. You and I will be together, babe. But every day I'm not with you, I feel red. My every single thought is you and me again.
Hello. Hi. Hi. That's crazy. I wonder, that song was so good. I think I like just found it earlier this morning. Like right before I was about to start streaming. I fucking wonder who released it. Because it's just so surprisingly good. That's crazy. I wonder who it was. But you know what? Obviously, I'm so nice to you guys. I'm so nice. You're welcome. Okay. The link to that song. I'm not about gatekeeping out here, right? Share it to everybody. Share it to your friends. Share it to your buddies. Right? I'm not about gatekeeping, obviously. So, go ahead and check out the link on the pinned comment right over there. Let's go. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I have to go get the timer. We're pretty earlier today, I feel like. So, the higher voice sounds sexier. What the what the fuck? Am I hearing what you guys are saying? What stream right now? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We have to do FNAF stuff. Today I've demanded that today will be the last. Thank you, thank you. I demanded that today will be the last day we have on FNAF. But tell me how sexy I sound with the deeper voice. You know what? We're gonna fucking pull this shit out later during VC Valorant. Bet. No, I'm kidding. Did you see? I did see the free to use FNAF VTuber model. I did. Thanks to Nordic sent it out to me in a DM right before I like checked on Twitter. I think on Twitter somebody else also sent it to me, or somebody else sent it to me again. I saw like 3 other people send it to me. Some people are finding out that I'm watching FNAF lore. This is my favorite thing about being a reaction. Now I'm a reactionary streamer now. Done. Fucking done. I play games here and there, but really I'm a reactionary streamer. Because this is what happens, right? You guys watch me watch Christian, and then within like a week, everybody's like, any single Christian thing, send that shit to Lilybell right the fuck now. And I've only been watching FNAF for less than a week. It's only been like 3 or 4 days, technically. And immediately people are like, holy shit, is that a free to use friend? Hey. Send that shit to Lilybell right now. And honestly, it makes me so happy. Like, it's genuinely so fucking happy. It genuinely makes me so happy. It's like when you get mail, you know? That's like not spam. Oh shit, I need to change the day. Thank you, anime dude. It's not day 16, it's day 17. It's day 17. So, like...
See, I told you all her voice was higher before, also puffy.
But I'm sick. But I'm sick. So you can't count it as my voice being higher before. I'm sick. Okay. Day 17, guys. Day 17. Woo. Okay. But it makes me genuinely happy. I don't, you know, I've only gotten fan mail a few times and I'm so happy about them. I still have them out in a box. Okay. But like, you know, when you get mail, like the first few times you get mail with your name to your house, you're living with your parents and it's for you. It's not like spam, right? It's like, no, this is your first invite to like fucking a birthday party or something. You know what I mean? I don't know who still does like fucking mail paper invites for birthday parties or like a wedding. Okay. Low voice arc. Hey, sexy voice arc or what? Sexy voice arc? No, I'm just kidding. Yes. As you heard earlier, I know I joke or whatever, but today I finally am so happy to say that I released a second original song with the great producers Genesis and Sasaki. I'm so happy with it. There's a beautiful art for it done by Poochie in the style of 90s anime. I knew it had to be that way because it is a city pop song. It's a beautiful, fun city pop song that's totally safe and definitely not on the idea of murdering anybody like we're about to talk about right now from FNAF. Woo! Thank you so much for the Spotify link. The YouTube link is pinned. The Spotify link is right there. Honestly, I'm so happy. You guys, a lot of you guys who's been here on this journey with me for a long time can see the difference between my confidence in the very beginning and at the end currently, right, of my singing career. Shaman's not here, but I think Shaman can contest to that, or anybody who's been here for a long time. At the very beginning, I think every karaoke had to be drunk karaoke. And that's due to, you know, I say this all the time. I grew up with a very like artsy family, right? So aunts, uncles, and like, you know, family members everywhere are professional singers. Happy VTuber Day. What the fuck is Happy VTuber? Is that a VTuber Day? Is that a thing now? Is today a VTuber Day? Thank you. Anyways, I grew up with family. Oh, thank you. Nice. Thank you. What else did I sing? Yes. So, I grew up with family members that are professional singers, right? Or, you know, because everybody is artsy, even if you're the professional singer isn't there, you have other musicians who know what professional singers sound like. So growing up in that environment is both really, really cool, okay? Saying like, oh yeah, I grew up with artsy family members. They're all just kind of party or, you know, and they're all very like, yeah, you know, it's gonna suck, but, you know, if you want to love art, then you love art kind of stuff. But it also sucks because even as a kid, they have absolutely no filter to tell you, yeah, your art is great. Great job, kiddo. They will say, wow, that kind of sucked, dude. They will say that. They will. And like my brother was always a better singer than me also, just because he gets the chance to practice more. I started working really young because I'm a greedy little bitch. Full stop. But realistically, he started young and, you know, he did fall in love with other parts of music that I didn't. And so he always became the better singer. And I will still attest to this. I do love his singing. Like I listen to it myself and like the music that he composes and everything. But it means that it's harder because we have like every Christmas is like a karaoke. Every Thanksgiving's like a karaoke. Literally any single time we go by and we get drunk, it's karaoke. All right, it's karaoke time. And this kid comes out with the fucking voice of Michael Bublé. All right. And I come out with a very not unique voice and just generally not more practiced, but it's not more practiced because then I feel really inferior next to my brother, right? Says the embodiment of, y'all knew you're greedy, stealing our hearts. Yeah, Hoshino family is just full of like a lot of talent. We've got like, when I say like artists, I literally mean we have actual like, you know, traditional form of art with paint and shit, And then we have actors and actresses, and directors and fucking musicians, okay? Composers and people who play in bands every fucking week and singers. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, but ever since I started being with you guys have genuinely, I'm sorry, I just remembered this. The ADHD just shat right there. Hold on, give me 1 second. There's something going on inside of Alright, there's something going inside of the admin chat real quick. Okay, sorry. And any of the admins, if you could just post my song into Lilybell updates. I totally forgot to do it. Anyways, what else am I saying? Yes. Anyways, because of you guys, you guys and your love for my karaoke stuff, even if it's drunk karaoke, and then most recently we had lounge karaoke, and that's not drunk. And you guys are, sitting here and supporting, and I'm like, well, fuck. Now you guys make me feel like I want to sing. I don't think I'm Adele out here, but that I'm at least generally decent. And then a lot of you guys have literally asked for some of my songs that I've released like covers for and stuff like that. You guys are adding my songs onto VTuber radio. That's nice. I don't know how much of it is ass kicking. Ass kissing. I don't know how much of it is ass kissing, but I mean, there's better ways to kiss my ass than that. Okay, just to let you know. And yet you guys still do it. And then I think I came out with Lonely Christmas just because I was like, well, fuck it, right? It was my first ever original song. I came out with a melody. I didn't know what else I wanted with accompaniment, so I sent it out to the very wonderful solos who just did something real quick for me because I said I just want something bare, something real quick. It wasn't supposed to be a second thought. But then the next year during Christmas, I got requested to sing it during my karaoke. During Christmas. During the holiday season, bro. I was about to pull out all the Hanukkah songs. I mean, I still did, right? And that was crazy. That was just kind of crazy. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. So I'm so happy. Since then, I've had 2 producers come up to me. Well, 3 now, technically. And said, we want to work with you on a song. And this is one of those first songs. I got to write the lyrics. I got to write the melody. Thank you so much for listening. Please do. Please, yeah. Coyote, if you want to check out how I sound when I sing, check out the pinned comment. That is a song that got literally released today. Surprise release, woo! So that we could keep up with our 1 song a month quota, first of all. Second of all, the coordination was a little off because Genesis is not from Genesis has a different time zone than I do. But Genesis was working on the Spotify and YouTube music release. And so that came out, and then I was like, ah, shit. And I dropped everything and just went to go do that. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just very happy. It just makes me feel very, very good. And then I think it was just, I just want to put, before we move on to FNAF, I promise we will, okay? I just want to mention one of my favorite parts about this is that we're listening to the City Pop song. We're like, shit, what do I want to do lyrics for? What do I want to say? What do I want to convey? Right? And it was like, well, City Pop is always this really fun, beautiful, nice, we could do a cute, I thought maybe it was going to be able to come out during Valentine's Day, actually. So I was like, oh, we could do Valentine's Day shit. We could do a love song. And as I'm writing the love song, right, more really obsessive feelings started coming out. Really and then I was like, oh, this is better. This is better. So if you guys notice the lyrics, as much as it sounds so fun and cute and great, obviously, as you can see in the art, this shit a yandere song. This shit a full yandere fucking song. Yeah. And I thought it would be great. I thought it'd be so exciting. I thought it'd be really funny and a good call out for this nice city pop vibe to be about, you know, yandere. Yeah, I wrote it and I sent it, like I sang a version, right? Like a quick, you know, freaking phone version, and I sent it out to the producer, one of the producers, Sasaki, and he straight up was like, "This sounds very you. It's good. Like I see so much of you in it." And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean about that, bro? What the fuck does that mean? You know? Hello? Okay. Works? I get, thanks, right? Probably. I don't know. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, please. Yeah, she's obsessive and serial killer. Yeah, aw. She's obsessive and serial killery. I think that is what it is about yandere that everybody fucking likes. It's like, oh my god, people are obsessing over me. Okay, never mind. Here you go. I'll do this. There we are. I posted it on the Lilybell updates also, so if you go in the Discord and go to Lilybell updates, you'll be able to see the tweet. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. It's because you put it in notifications. My bad. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay. Anyways. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. As you can tell, I'm a little less. My voice is a little deeper today, so please be nice. All right. I don't know if maybe it's just the morning, right? Or if it's just because my voice really is just there already. We haven't gotten the voice cracks, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to try to keep it that way. But let's not wait any longer. I know that Axel doesn't have that much time today. And I know that, you know, Axel's the one that really, you know, is a FNAF fan. So he wants to see me do this. Axel doesn't control the stream. Hi, T-Sword. Axel doesn't control the stream. But, you know, Axel's a pretty prominent community member. What the heck? Why isn't the chat?
My voice is a little deeper. Please be nice. That's literally the best part.
No, desktop shouldn't be muted. I think Chat Bear is just thinking too long. And Chat Bear is like disassociating. He's like, when are you going to be done with this? When are you going to fucking finish your just chatting moment? All right, let's get into it. Oh, fuck. This is not what I'm trying to pick up. We got it? Did we get it? We got it! Yeah! Okay, let's get into it. All right.
Thanks for coming in, Freddy. I heard you got some new eyes recently. Just want to check to make sure that they're all functioning before we send you back out there on the stage. Tell me, what do you see here?
That is my friend Bonnie. I miss him.
Don't we all? How about this one?
It's me?
Interesting response with heavy lore implications. Gonna make a note of that one. All right, how about this last one?
Oh, that's the DJ, you know. DJ. No, hold on, don't help me. I have this. DJ.
This is so funny.
Freddy.
Wait, is this also still again the actual voice actor?
It's
Good
obviously
afternoon, Unicorn.
Music Man! Music Man! Oh! Music Man! Music Man! Music Man! I called it! Music Man!
How old is this video? This is only like maybe a year and a half ago.
Man! Music Man! Man! Oh! I was so close! Man!
All right, well, that's
Hello,
a lie. That's
Internet.
actually pretty
Welcome
good.
to
That's
Game
actually, I
Theory,
did not
where
hate
the
that. That
only
was pretty
thing that
good.
slaps harder than our remixes is you slapping that
That
subscribe
remix is
button.
fire.
A huge thank you to Doofix from the Game Theory subreddit for helping that meme achieve its true final form, and for letting me use it as a part of this video. As I write this, his masterpiece only has 400 views, so let's blow that channel up. Link is in the top line of the
let's
description. You know what
go.
to say. Fill up those comments.
I bet
Let
it's
me
like
hear ya.
completely different now.
Music Man! As the man said in the song, say what you will about Security Breach, and there's certainly a lot you can say about Security Breach. The fact that it launched this weird, unseen animatronic from Pizzeria Simulator into meme lord status is perhaps its greatest accomplishment. And speaking of other unseen animatronics, today's episode is actually a pair of mini-theories all about two animatronics that are notably absent from this newest game.
It's weird for me specifically to hear him say like, oh, this is split into mini theories, because I feel like most of the videos have a bunch of mini theories just sitting and like he pastes them together. Is that not the actual truth? Thank you, Coyote. Thank you, everyone. Yes, please check out my new song. I worked with Sasaki and Genesis, my friends, with on it. It's pinned at the top.
Characters that have been with us since the very beginning of the franchise, but whose 80s shoulder
Oh
pads
shit,
apparently
I'm
weren't
sorry. Also, by the way, today is my Funathon day 17. Woo! Day 17. Full Foxy is in this one. Yeah. Day 17. We are 75 out of 120 for our next spin. All the rules are in the bottom middle, okay? And we're chugging along here. Yeah.
big enough for the final cut. And in a game that throws so much Freddy spaghetti against a lore wall to see what sticks, what gets
I feel like they're
excluded
always
from the game
unrelated,
is almost
so
as
I
interesting
don't know.
as what made the final cut. So what are the mysteries surrounding these two animatronics? Can we solve the mysteries? And what do the solutions tell us about the lore of this new game? That, my loyal theorists, is what we aim to answer today. Missing animatronic number one, Glam
Foxy
Rock Bonnie.
isn't.
You
Roxy
thought it was
is.
strange
Isn't
when the
Roxy-
trailers first dropped and we saw our
Roxy is just Foxy. Right? Am I crazy?
favorite animatronics in their new 80s get-up. Freddy, Chica,
I thought they were
Foxy,
only missing
kind of,
Bonnie.
and Bot. No, that's an alligator.
Roxy's
Yep,
a wolf?
no,
Is Roxy new? Oh, fun. Oh, no, Roxy's. Okay. Wait, they are missing two then. Yeah, never mind. That's confusing.
Summery Gator was in, and Bonnie the Bunny was out. At first, I thought this was just gonna be a repeat of Sister Location. Introduce some new characters, reintroduce some old ones with new looks, and, you know, just leave a couple out. But then,
I mean,
right
it
outside
still
of the
technically
daycare
could be.
security breach, we hear this.
There is no rabbit at the Mega Pizzaplex. Not anymore.
And that
Oh, never mind. That's sus as fuck. That's sus as hell, dude.
right there, my friends, is theory bait. Stick it on a fish hook and drop it in the water
Yeah,
to reel me in.
it's true.
Clearly,
That's
this
weird,
was more than just an
specifically saying
arbitrary
that.
swapping of characters. There's a story here, a mystery to solve. Glamrock Bonnie did exist at some point here in the Pizzaplex and now doesn't. And the game continues to remind us of this mystery as we explore them all. While trying to decommission Chica, you have to venture into Bonnie Bowl. And while we're up there, Freddy says this.
Dude, it's so weird for me to look at Freddy and, like, it's so easy. I don't know how they did it, but they made him instantly, like, a best buddy. Like, Freddy used to be, like, you know, fucking terrifying, right? And, like, just part of this. But now Freddy is like, nobody fucking touch him. Nobody touch me or my son ever again. Like, really?
I do not come up here anymore. I miss him.
We even get a collectible message from Roxy Raceway that talks about him.
Oh my
Quote,
God.
Management report. The bowling alley needs a retheme. While most of the Bonnie art was removed, kids keep asking, where's Bonnie? Do we have an officially approved response? So
That's sus. That's sus as fuck. All right. Whatever this theory is, I'm going to have to come behind it. All right. Because that's crazy.
yeah, where is Bonnie? The kids want to know, and heck, I want to know what happened to everyone's favorite rabbit. Well, to answer that, we actually have to follow the other messages that we get in the Faz Watch. Specifically, this security alert found behind a locked Monty gate in the game's opening service tunnel. Quote, security report 12:24 a.m. Bonnie is seen leaving his green room in Rockstar Row heading east towards the atrium. 2:40 a.m. Bonnie enters the East Arcade. 4:12 a.m. Bonnie enters Monty Golf. Bonnie is wandering around the Pizzaplex and winds up in Monty Gator Golf. And see, this is an important detail because as we see in both the game and the collection,
Wait, that also means that at some point that Bonnie is here and Monty. So that's already the full 5. Right? Because there's 4 right now. If they had Bonnie, it'd be 5. Like, I couldn't imagine we're missing 1 more, right? We're missing Foxy. Well, they would never have 6. That's
Collectible
impossible.
messages, Monty has a bit of a mean streak
It's impossible. The minute you make a 6th animatronic and you try to place it onto your stage, the police come in and try to shoot you off.
going on. He likes breaking things. He also has a bit of an ego. I don't know if you noticed, but the animatronic going on. He likes breaking things. He also has a bit of an ego. I don't know if you noticed, but the animatronics in this game are unusually human compared to the ones that we've seen previously. They have
See? It's not just a gator, okay? They're unusually human.
personality, emotions. We see Roxy crying in her room because we've managed to escape her.
We should have found it by now.
What if, okay, I have two types. I have
Chat,
2 types.
Do not take Lily to Florida, Lamau.
I used to live in Florida. That's a lie. I have 3 types? What are my types again? Somebody pull up my Tumblr sexy men list and remind me what my types are. Because one of them is definitely ego bitch brats that need a punch to the face. I'll tell you that. I definitely know that. The second one is really sad emo boys.
Now, it's not fair.
I don't remember my third
a
one.
loser.
The third one is I think older money men?
Because just hungry all the time. And Monty...
Wait, sorry.
Not a
Highlight, I love you. I was thinking about you yesterday night.
loser. We
Okay,
should
okay.
have found it by now. It's not fair. I'm not a loser.
Damn! Are you okay? What the? Who is that? Was that Roxy? That's Roxy, right? Dude, are you okay? I kind of feel bad. What, do you have my parents or something?
Personality, emotions. We see Roxy crying in her room because we've managed to escape her.
We should have found it by now. It's not fair. I'm not a loser.
Chica is just
Dude.
hungry all the time.
Same. Honestly, wait, why are like half of these personalities just one person? If you put everybody's personality together, you just get me.
And Monty wants to be the star. He's looking for a way to
Also
rise to
me.
the role of leader of the band.
Also
singer
fucking
in
me.
the spotlight. We know this thanks
Wait, he wants to be the star, but isn't? Yeah, definitely me.
to hole number 9 of the Gator Golf minigame. Monty is
They
center
really just
stage,
like me,
and
for real, for
Freddy
real.
is left out in the dumpster. So in base
Wait, what? What is this?
game, Monty is center stage. Light. We know this thanks to hole number 9 of the Gator Golf minigame. Monty is center stage and Freddy is left out in the dumpster. So when bass player Bonnie comes rolling into his domain late at night,
My bro, he has, oh my god, he has middle child issues, bro. Middle child.
Monty sees this as his opportunity to take him out and become the bass player himself. This is all
I mean,
fairly
how do you know what he
straightforward
is?
just from reading
What
those
was he
collective
before
messages,
that?
but it does leave me wondering why. Why did Bonnie go to Monty Golf in the first place? Well, what if someone led Bonnie there so he would get destroyed? Monty would get what he wants, a more prominent role in the band, and Bonnie would be quietly decommissioned and turned to scrap. Scrap that could then be used to help rebuild another rabbit that we're all familiar with. One that's hiding out in the basement. Good old Burn Trap Afton. You want to know where Glamrock Bonnie is? Right there, right in front of your face. Burn Trap's body is Glamrock Bonnie's body. And I'm not just saying that because they're both rabbits. There's
Wait, is that a real term now? Are you guys calling him Glam Trap?
actually a couple more clues that pointed me in this direction. If we turn back to when we last saw Afton in the form of Scrap Trap during Pizzeria Simulator and Ultimate Custom Night,
Oh,
there were
okay.
some interesting
I
design
couldn't tell.
details. Namely the fact that we can see a lot of bone underneath the suit. A
Ew,
lot of
what
bone.
the
On top of
fuck?
his skull, his jaw, around the eyes here, even the collarbone you can make out in his jump scare. But
Wait,
here in Security
actually?
Breach,
Yeah, that's
Afton
gross.
has
What the
basically
fuck?
got a whole new body. As Scrap Trap, he was made primarily of bone and muscle, but now he's almost entirely entirely animatronic, with the exception of the weird fleshy tendons that entangle the endoskeleton, as well as the skull, which now appears to
Ew,
be
wait. Why was he? Oh, wait, I remember. Never mind.
into
Never mind.
the rabbit face. But we see loads of endoskeletons throughout Security Breach. We even hear Vanessa saying that they could just put old casings onto new endos if they need to.
Monty will run the shows until parts and service can slap your casing on a new endo.
So why then am I so sure that Burntrap uses Bonnie's endo when
Monty, oh my god, this is so on point of her say the way that she says it too, either. Like, I don't like the tone that you're having with Freddy. All right?
put
What's
old
wrong with you,
casings onto
bitch?
new endos
I mean,
if
I know what's wrong with you, but like, what's wrong with you, you know?
they need to.
Monty will run the shows until parts and service.
Monty will run the shows until parts and service, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is exactly what Monty wanted. This is exactly what Monty wanted. You can't give him what he wants.
Can slap your casing on a new endo.
So why
Dude,
then
I don't
am
like the
so
way, I don't like
sure
her
that
tone of
Burntrap
voice
uses
whatsoever. She's
Bonnie's
kind of a
endo
bitch,
when
bro.
they could have used any
She's
other
definitely.
endoskeleton?
Here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. I know the whole term of like Karen and shit like that, but sometimes bitches really be talking to me like that, and all I'm trying to do is return a shirt. All right? And they're like, "Do you have your receipt?" And I'm like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up. Here's my receipt."
It all comes down to the hands. They make a big point in the trailers to reveal this mechanical hand with claws at the end of its fingers, and they put emphasis on it again during Afton's ending when his hand reaches outside the recharge station. On both occasions, the focus is on Afton's left hand, a hand that was completely missing from Scrap Trap in both FNAF 6 and Ultimate Custom Night. I mean, technically he was missing that entire left arm, but you get the point. So what does any of this have to do with Bonnie? That could be any endoskeleton arm, right? Wrong. Take a look at the Glamrock endoskeletons from this game.
Take a look at my girlfriend. This is the only one I want. Ba-da-da-da. Sorry.
Their hands? Yep, they don't have claws. The only animatronic whose endoskeleton does have claws? Montgomery Gator. We actually get a really good look at his hands once we've decommissioned him. But hold on a minute, I was saying that Burntrap was made from Bonnie, so why am I so focused on Monty? Well, we have to go back to the messages that we get on our Faz Watch. Down in Parts and Services, we get this maintenance log. Quote, Montgomery's
Is Faz Watch supposed to be like the Apple Watch version or something?
claw upgrades allow him to play the bass. Following performances, he mostly uses them to cause damage. Before I read this message, Monty having claws didn't really strike me as an odd design detail. I mean, the dude's
what's
an
up, Toon
alligator,
Gaming?
kinda makes sense. But this message made me reevaluate that opinion. Claws are only for animatronics that play the bass. When we get the message about Bonnie being out of commission, we get this line, quote, with Bonnie out of commission, we are making
I feel so bad just right there. I paused it for absolutely no. I paused it so I could read it, and then I was like, wait, he's gonna fucking read it right now. Chill.
Monty the new bass player. Parts and Service have already done the proper adjustments. End quote. They're installing the claws on Monty because he's becoming the bass player, which means that Bonnie before him must have also had claws. They need to be built into the endoskeleton because they have to pluck the heavier strings. Therefore, the claws on Afton's new body prove that they could have only come from a single source, Glamrock Bonnie. But Glamrock Bonnie isn't the only one conspicuously missing from the Security Breach lineup. Where is everyone's favorite yellow clickbait, Golden Freddy? At first,
That I see. I was like, I feel like Golden Freddy is always an afterthought specifically for me, right? Because I feel like Golden Freddy is just something that's like, oh, it's there. It's there. They're there. You know what I mean? It's not really an actual character. It's just an extra character.
I didn't think too much about his absence. Last we saw old Yellow Fredbear, he was twitching away at the end of Ultimate Custom Night, keeping the spirit of Afton trapped in an endless purgatory of torment. Meanwhile, you got Old Man Consequences over here asking Cassidy, "You good, bro?" and encouraging them to leave the demon to his demons. So, yep, that story seemed largely done. Cassidy, aka the one you should not have killed, aka the vengeful spirit,
No,
call the kid
claws
whatever
do
you
not
want.
awaken
This
anything in
was another
me.
playing piece off the lore table. The end of an
It awakens like freaking ow. You know what I mean?
another character arc. So why would Cassidy appear in Security Breach? Doesn't seem necessary. But then it was more
Phase
Freddy
watch this,
spaghetti
phase do
time.
that.
Security Breach
Where's
once
my
again
Lily
threw
watch and Lily goo?
everything it had at the wall to see what stuck. And I do
I love how they
mean
pronounce the
everything
phase,
they
too.
had. Basically, everyone and everything in the series up to this point is represented somewhere in this game. FNAF 1 animatronics, FNAF 2 animatronics, tons of references to FNAF 4, a
Yeah,
direct
just say
connection back to
cum,
FNAF
P.
6, there's Baby,
Just ask
there's
me
the
where my
puppet,
cum
there's
is.
the fun times. If my theories up to this point have been correct too, you also get Crying Child, Michael, and Elizabeth, the Aftons all in one neat little
Sure, if
package.
your theory
And that's
is correct.
still not all. The arcade cabinets reference everything from the original novel trilogy to the Fazbear Fright stories.
That's
Heck, in
crazy,
this one
what
game,
the
you
hell?
get not only one, but two. Count them, two versions of William Afton. Glitch Trap and Burn Trap. You have all the versions
Burn
of
Trap,
pretty much
that's what you
all the
guys call 'em.
important characters throughout the franchise.
On
so in
your
a title that
face?
seemingly references every other important corner of FNAF lore, where's our
P, when was the last time you got off? Just out of curiosity. You don't have to tell me, but if you don't want to tell me, you just say I don't want to tell you. But you forgot how to flirt? No, it's open. It's pretty open. Depends on what flirting is for you, bud. Ah ha ha ha.
golden boy Freddy? Well, he's there. He's
You could get off and be virgin. You could just masturbate.
hiding in plain sight, right here, inside the Princess Quest arcade games. The princess is, quite literally, Golden Freddy. Or, to be
The
entirely
what?
accurate, it's actually
What? Oh, I mean, not the
This
worst.
is quite literally Golden Freddy. Or, to be entirely accurate, it's actually the spirit of Cassidy inside the arcade game. I know, it seems crazy, right? And while I could try
I'm sorry. At this point, I will sit here and go, oh, they're both golds. Why not? Because in the beginning, it quote unquote seemed crazy. But after everything you have fucking told me, Matt, like there's nothing quote unquote seems fucking crazy anymore. Okay, buddy?
to bury the lead here.
If you wanted to say something seemed crazy before, like if you wanted to think that this was crazy, you should see some of your old theories. How about that?
out, I'm not. There's just too much to talk about. We know that this is Golden Freddy because it's coming straight
Am I
out of
copping
the horse's
out?
mouth.
No, I'm
I guess
just
it's
I'm
the
just
sheep's mouth
spitting
'cause it's
facts.
Steel Wool Studios. Anyway, if you dive into the game files,
I'm
there's a
spitting facts. Be real, okay? Nothing seems crazy at this point because everything that was great that you think seems crazy already has happened, right? It's one of those things where it's like they wouldn't do that again, would they? And it's like, oh shit, they did it again. After a while, you don't ask that question. They wouldn't do it again anymore.
the character sprite folder labeled Cassidy. Open it up and what do you find? The princess. Now, I gotta be honest, that alone didn't convince me.
What?
Sure,
What?
coming straight out of the horse's mouth. I guess it's the sheep's mouth because it's Steel Wool Studios. Anyway, if you dive into the game files, there's a character sprite folder labeled Cassidy. Open it up and what do you find? The princess.
All right. That's pretty convincing.
Now, I gotta be honest, that alone didn't convince me.
No,
Sure, it is
that's
a
pretty
huge
convincing.
deal, and
That's a huge
obviously the
deal.
golden color of the princess is a direct connection back to everyone's favorite yellow bear, but this is also a series that's used the name Jeremy in like, what, at least 4 separate places? Is that right? 4?
Just because they're all the same Jeremy. It's all the same person.
He's a missing children's incident kid. He sliced his face off in FNAF VR with
Yep,
a paper
it's all
cutter.
the same
He's a
fucking
security
person.
guard from the FNAF 2 paychecks. And, oh yeah, he's in the latest Fazbear Frights book. So yep, those are the 4 instances that I can just remember off the top of my head. So forgive me if I'm in need of a bit more proof here before I call this one
I feel like this is the first time he ever actually asked for more proof about anything.
confirmed, so I kept digging. First, it's worth noting that in a previous theory, I suspected that the princess was actually meant to be a stand-in for Vanessa. You see, Security Breach isn't the first time that we've actually seen the Princess Quest minigame. It originated as part of the mobile port for FNAF VR when they needed some way of telling Vanessa's story. Instead of finding 16 glitching cassette tapes like you did in the original FNAF VR, the mobile port has you playing Princess Quest 1, lighting 16 braziers to eventually find the lair of Glitch Trap. Interestingly though, digging through that game's files reveals that the princess character wasn't labeled as Cassidy. This is a new thing for Security Breach, which tells me that this was also an important story element for them. A story that, now that we have all 3 Princess Quest games to look
They
at,
passed this
suddenly takes
later
on a
to
different
change the
meaning.
name?
When
Why
you
would
play
they
Princess
change the
Quest 1,
name?
you're being hunted down by black, glitchy rabbit creatures. These things are clearly working
They changed
for
the
Glitch
name to
Trap, but if
Freddy
that's the
but
case,
yellow.
why
That's
would
so
he be
fucking
sending
funny.
them to attack you?
What do they
If the
change it
princess
to?
is truly meant to be a stand-in for Vanessa finding the tapes, wouldn't he want want Vanessa to find him so she comes under his control? Rabbits attacking doesn't make sense. However, if we consider the Golden Princess to instead be Cassidy, back from the dead once more to try
Either
and
it
stop
wasn't
William
supposed
for
to be
good, then of
Cassidy
course
or it
Billy
revealed too
Afton
much.
would do everything he
I think it just revealed too much, right? Because it's really hard for them to sit like back then when everybody was Jeremy. I feel like it was just kind of like, oh fuck, I accidentally already used this guy Jeremy for whatever. But it's like, yeah, I'll just keep using it. You know, I feel like the use of Jeremy was just mistakenly strewn together and was like, well, you know what? It is the way it is. It's already there. But now there's, you know, either they're like, yeah, I'm going to fuck with you guys and say it's Cassidy, or they actually did just give too much, right? Because I don't feel like it was a mistake. I don't feel like it wasn't supposed to be. Like, there's, in some way, I feel like, yeah, I'm going to fuck with you guys and say that it's Cassidy first.
can to stop the princess. I also think that each princess quest represents a different phase of Cassidy's experience quite nicely. In the first one, Cassidy is helpless, an innocent, helpless child lured to a back room and killed by a monster that looms in the shadows. But by Princess Quest 3, the princess is fighting back. And not just fighting back, but doing it in the same location that we walk through in FNAF VR.
Oh,
Notice the large
shit.
central stage, the prize corner back behind us, and a rounded side stage to the left. Now, this is an important detail because as we see at the end of FNAF VR, we're playing in the location of the missing children's incident. Glitch Trap lures us to the back room only to shove our dead body into Freddy's suit while he dances around. This is Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where the initial 5 kids, including Cassidy, first went missing. Cassidy's story truly comes full circle. Playing through Princess Quest 3 the first time, I also thought it was unusual to have a giant Chica face looming in the background watching us. Like, why? Seriously, why? You don't just do that for decoration. And then I remembered this line from Ultimate Custom Night. I was the first. I have seen everything. This means that Susie, the spirit inside of Chica, saw the deaths of everyone else, meaning that she was probably watching as Cassidy was killed.
It's kind of awkward for me to think, oh, Susie's the first, but Cassidy's the most vengeful. I don't know. Like, that's realistic. That's like the most realistic of it all. The actual, like, no, that shit could happen IRL. That, like, you know, one of them, obviously not all children are the same. Not all P personalities are the same. So maybe Susie's just a nicer personality, you know, and she didn't want to be vengeful. But Cassidy was like, no, fuck you. I'm a sassy brat. I'm going to be vengeful. But I don't know, in a storytelling aspect, I'm like, I think I've been fed normal, like, the special one tropes so much that being the first, I assume that being the first would make you the most vengeful. You know what I mean?
Hence why she, of all the characters, would be the one watching us in this moment. So the file name matches, the color matches, the narrative arc makes sense as we revisit important locations from Cassidy's past, but that's not all. Elsewhere in the files, there's another piece of glitch text, similar to the text that we originally saw when you approach Glitch Trap in Princess Quest 1, but this time it's much shorter. It'd be hard to decipher if we hadn't just decoded Afton's text before, but we did. And using that code, we're able to translate these dots as "it's me," the iconic phrase that we've seen every time Golden Freddy has been present throughout the series.
Okay, yeah, there's no way this wasn't meant to be some sort of Golden Freddy, bro. This is definitely some sort of Golden Freddy, okay?
Last but not least, Cassidy being here just
there
makes
you
sense
go.
with the story.
Well, yeah, of course this is giving away too much. The hell? This is
Whenever
no
there's
way.
William, Cassidy is close behind, hence the whole vengeful part of Vengeful Spirit. This is something that we actually see in the Fazbear Frights books, specifically the story The Man in Room 1280. In this story, we get a ruined, burned William Afton dying on a bed, haunted by an angry spirit named Andrew with curly black hair wearing an alligator mask. This very clearly is
It's Monty!
to be the book stand-in for Cassidy. In a previous story, Andrew outright says, quote, I
also
remember wanting to
want
get
more
back at
Mr.
someone
Hippo.
who hurt me. I think I attached myself
Smash.
to him. I got into his soul.
Mr.
Made
Hippo.
sure he couldn't move on when he should have died. I remember I wanted him to suffer the way he made me suffer. Basically, the two are inseparable. Andrew grafted himself onto Afton, and now their souls are mixed. So consider this. Glitch Trap was created when a bunch of circuit boards were scanned into a system to create a video game.
They sent us that stuff in the first place with no explanation. It was just junk.
I still don't understand what it is, but it's just like the way that certain things are pronounced just kind of like scratched my head funny.
Circuit boards and things like that. Somehow, though, there was usable code on some of it.
If Cassidy was truly attached to Afton, then Cassidy's spirit would also likely be in those circuit boards, thereby creating a digital version of her, aka the princess. So yeah, I feel pretty darn confident that that is indeed Cassidy in Princess Quest. Everything I could find backs it up from a design, timeline, narrative sense. Also, the file name suggests that the king is actually Old Man Consequences. Sure, I guess. Leave the demon to his demons. Unless, of course, you want to take my sword and go ham on him. Anyway, so what does it all mean? Why is this important at all? Well, it gives us a rationale for why playing some random arcade games somehow manages to free Vanessa from Glitchtrap's control. As a reminder, if you play all 3 Princess Quest games, you get the free Vanny ending, where she turns good and joins you eating symbolic ice cream cones. But
wait, if you do what with the princess endings?
Is to free Vanessa from Glitchtrap's control. As a reminder, if you play all 3 Princess Quest games, you get the free Vanny ending, where she turns good and joins you eating symbolic ice cream cones. But really, it's a pretty weird logical leap that playing a few random arcade games somehow gets this young woman free of the virus that's infected her brain. But now, it makes a bit more sense. At the end of Princess Quest 3, we confront a large security door that's covered in purple goo, only to get a blood-curdling scream. That goo tells us that it's Glitchtrap behind the door. It even has a glowing set of eyes on the left-hand side, which, if you squint, kinda looks like a rabbit head.
Okay, I mean... Okay.
This kind of goo wasn't present in the identical door within Help Wanted, implying that he is now in control. So when Cassidy unlocks the door and goes in, the digital scream that we hear from the other side is Glitchtrap dying, crying out as Cassidy delivers the killing blow and maybe, hopefully, finally putting both of their souls to rest. Security Breach to me has been this story about endings.
I've not seen the Spider-Man 2 gameplay trailer. I haven't seen any of the
idea of characters coming full
PlayStation stuff.
circle, giving closure to them and ending their parts within the FNAF storyline.
We've been trying to push the FNAF in before Axel has to go on holiday.
Henry
so
and the
Axel
puppet
can see
got
my
their
reactions.
closure in the FNAF 6 ending. If I'm right about my theories, then the rebuilt Afton kids get their closure on the hillside eating ice cream here in Security Breach. And now Cassidy. While all the other dead kids of the series have been able to move on, Cassidy has always remained, always trying to chase Afton down, torturing.
It genuinely makes me feel weird for him to continue. I know that this is the embodiment of Cassidy, right? But like, this picture is just so fucking creepy. I don't want to see it anymore, dude.
Him in purgatory for what he's
done. Of all
done.
the things that are creepy here, like, Cassidy's picture is fucking creepy.
This feels like a great ending to this chapter of the series. Finally, Cassidy gets to join the others and rest, putting aside their agony and putting an end to the Golden Freddy
You rather
arc,
Fruity
and
Maze
hopefully
Girl?
Afton's
If it doesn't
arc as
fucking
well.
jump
But
scare
there's
me,
still
yeah.
one more that's incomplete. One more series of secrets in this game that we haven't talked about yet.
P, what kind of ice cream do you like?
As we wrap up our coverage for Security Breach by talking about the most controversial and frustrating part of it, the retro CDs, the mysterious Patient 46, and what all of that has
hear
to
about
do
Patient
with the
46?
theories that we've covered so far. So bite of 87 that subscribe button to ensure that you don't miss it. And as always, remember, it's just a theory.
A game theory. Nice.
Thanks
He
for
did it. He did it.
watching.
He did it.
So remember, February 19th,
Oh, thank God.
Saturday. Today, we end the horror. Today, we solve FNAF. Wait, didn't we say this exact same thing 7 years ago?
That video was good. Yeah. That video was good. I think that was the one video in which I was like, you know what? It's good. I liked all of what you just said. It's fair. All the things you just said. I feel like every other one, I give him a lot of pushback, but that one, I was just like, no, that's fair. That's fucking fair. Yo, what's up, Darebrain? Music Man! Still makes me feel weird that he cares so much about Music Man, and he's like, look, Music Man, and like, hello, Balloon Boy been here since when?
Hello, Internet.
Oh,
Welcome
Fear
to
Theory.
Game
That's
Theory,
funny.
the show
That's
that
very
reminds you that if you
interesting.
click the like button hard enough, it'll summon DJ Music
I'm a
Man
thing
to
for
your
mint
neighborhood
foods.
for
I
a block
love
party.
mint
Go ahead,
foods.
try
Mint
it.
chocolate
Hit that
chip
like
used to be my
button. Didn't work?
favorite.
Have you tried clicking subscribe? I hear that sometimes works too. I guess you must not be clicking hard enough. I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of not working hard
Finish?
enough,
You know
aren't
what?
you
We'll take
tired
it.
of
We'll
just
take what
plain
fine-
boring merch? The kind that
We'll
you
take
buy
what
and
fine-
sure, it looks cool, but
fine
it just sits
can
there on your
be.
body not doing anything interesting. Well, what if your merch was actually a puzzle? Introducing the world's first quest jacket. I know what you're thinking. A denim jacket isn't anything revolutionary, and you'd largely be right, except you'd also be missing one of the most crucial details. Those patches, they're not just any old D&D style patches, they're clues to help you solve a much bigger puzzle that exists inside of this thing.
This is actually very, very cool. It's innovative. Very cool. I like it.
Not just a jacket, it's the world's first ARG jacket. You heard that right, a world first. It's not every day that you create like the first of something, but to all my research, I don't think a product like this has ever existed. We've actually been working for the past 2 years to make something like this happen, working with garment manufacturers to sew secrets into places that they've never even thought about before. Obviously, I don't want to give too much away because
That's gotta be terrifying. Like, I would be that bitch, right? Who's like, shit, I don't want to, you know what? I'm going to end the game right now. I don't care. I'm just going to go look it up because I don't want to cut my patches out so I can find out secrets underneath. Hello? They're good patches.
because part of the fun is letting you guys solve this for yourself, but we pulled out all the stops to give you a piece of clothing that you can actually experience. This thing is premium to the max, and if you manage to solve it, you get a special final patch to show that you are truly the puzzle master. So go ahead, head on down to the description and be a part of history. Grab your...
So you're telling me the patch is hidden somewhere in there. Hey, toss that bitch in the TSA. They'll find it. They'll find anything.
The first ever piece of ARG clothing and what will be the first in our series
Dear
of
Brain, I'm
quest
so
jackets.
sorry.
Roll an investigation check to see if you've got what it
or
takes.
They send it to
Today
you? Yeah, maybe they send it to you, but I feel like that's even more work on their part. Would they do that?
We finish milking, I mean covering the major mystery what it
yeah,
takes.
Yeah, here we go.
Finish milking, I mean
Today we finished milking, covering, blah, 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 blah. No, you fucking don't. This is episode 47 and 57 episodes. And that's not even including all the partner stuff and the ones we skipped.
Covering the major mysteries of security breach.
Yeah,
and you know what? I think I solved it. Or at least I think I've solved most of it. 7 years ago, I made this video, The Clue That Solves Five Nights at Freddy's, where we put together all the pieces to support Dream Theory. The concept that the first 4 games of the series were all a collection of nightmares happening inside the mind of a child. In that
Still a cop-out. Still possible, but it's still a cop-out.
Episode, there were lots of points of evidence, but ultimately the conclusion
am I in this
hinged
hole?
on
So far
one
managed
key design detail,
to
the
miss it?
alarm that brought each night to a close at...
I'm like, again, 47 episodes out of 57 episodes deep. I know everything I need to know about FNAF lore, as much as I can. And by today, we will know everything we need to know about FNAF lore and not play FNAF.
At 6 o'clock a.m. A grandfather clock for 3 games and a digital clock for number 4. 3 games in the crying
Yeah, they're all
child's house
around
where we
like
see a
20 to
grandfather
30
clock,
minutes,
the
but I
4th
talk for
in a
much longer.
hospital right before he dies, which ironically enough is the one whose gameplay is happening in a recreation of the house. Ooh, there's a reason this series is so difficult to talk about. Anyway, the reason I bring that video up is because today's theory works largely in the same way. Over the past few FNAF episodes, I've been trying to make heads or tails of security breach, pulling at what, to me, felt like the strongest thread. Gregory as the crying child reborn in a robot body. Him reuniting with his brother Michael in the form of Glamrock Freddy and his sister Elizabeth in the form of Vanessa. And we've covered a lot of evidence trying to support that claim. The character's design, colors, the ice cream, the voice lines, robotic eyes, the satisfying narrative arc that it provides the game's 3-star ending. I mean, it's a lot. There are 2 episodes that are jam-packed full of
Whoa, what is
the
that
colors,
ending?
the ice cream. It's a lot.
What is this ending? Those are some sweet-ass kicks.
There are 2 episodes that are jam-packed full of discussion around exactly this. But today, I finally have my smoking gun. The clue that takes it from just a controversial theory to...
No, we went over this yesterday. I don't feel like FNAF is hard to talk about. We went over this yesterday because they did come to that point where the creator of FNAF, Scott, we got to the part where chronologically he got quote unquote canceled, right? For donating to the Trump campaign. And as far as I'll say once again, besides that, I don't know if there's any other questionable things about him, but I am just watching FNAF, This is now no longer, Scott always has some part of it, obviously, but I don't feel like it's hard to talk about because FNAF is FNAF. Like, it's a whole other entity to me. I'm not here to, unless he's doing something genuinely fucking awful, right? He's not the first person I know that's, you know, fucking donated to a Trump campaign. I'm not besties with him, right? And I don't believe that me watching FNAF stuff, like, directly supports him in supporting whatever. I have no control over that. So me just watching FNAF is kind of just like me watching South Park, right? South Park has a lot of fucking bad jokes. South Park is one of the most famous shows of all time. Everybody has strong feelings about it. Do I think South Park jokes are funny? No, I don't. I'm not a South Park watcher. I think a lot of it is crude. I'm not a very, like, haha, racism funny. No, I'm not that kind of person. And yet it's out there. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, it is just there. Yeah.
At least in my mind, largely proven fact. Just like with the clocks and the dream theory, it's the one clue that is so specific, so intentional that it confirms that this was the main intent of the game. Until, of course, they decide to retcon it all due to bad audience feedback to keep the franchise going for another 7 years. Sorry guys, I hate to say it, but I think I'm unfortunately right this time. Gregory is a robot, and he's the crying child reborn. And by the end of today, I think you're gonna be convinced. And then from there, we're gonna talk about how all of that factors into the game's narrative and its final mystery, Patient 46. It all begins here, the post-it room.
Huh, what? This is unexpected.
After exploring the sewers to decommission Chica, Gregory winds up here, a room full of—
Oh! I'm so sorry. I thought you were talking to me specifically. Like, why are we, because right before that, I think you were like, how deep are you into this? I thought the FNAF was hard to talk about. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that he mentioned some shit like that. That's so funny. My bad. Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm gonna let this go now. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I talk way too much. I'm thinking, dude, the amount of ego I have on myself to obviously think that you're talking about me. My bad.
this. But today, I finally have my smoking gun. The clue that takes it from just a controversial theory to, at least in my mind, largely proven
The
fact.
dream theory?
Just like with the clocks and the dream theory, it's the one clue that
Is this dream theory still?
so specific, so intentional that it confirms that this was the main intent of the game. Until, of course, they decide to retcon it all due to bad audience feedback to keep the franchise going for another 7 years. Sorry guys, I hate to say it, but I think I'm unfortunately right this time. Gregory is a robot, and he's the crying child reborn. And by the end of today, I think you're gonna be convinced. And then from there, we're gonna—
Cop out alarm! Cop out alarm! I keep accidentally writing down cop out alarm. Hold on. Alarms sound. Sound, not spine. You know what? Just watch your ears, watch your volume, okay? That's a cop out. That's a cop out. All right? No matter how right or wrong it is, having Gregory be a robot is a cop out. Have you considered reincarnation and symbolism? Have you considered that one? No? Well, you know what? That has been around as a quote-unquote theory and concept for like 1 million years, okay? Instead of robot children. I'm just saying, it's a cop-out.
To talk about how all of that
I can understand it made sense at the time.
Mystery,
I'm just saying
46.
It's still a cop out.
It all begins
like
here,
if it were true to be, it's a cop out.
Room.
Huh. What? This is unexpected.
After exploring the sewers to decommission Chica, Gregory winds up here, a room full of glowing staff bot heads and lots of post-it reminders on literally every surface. I mean, this thing is a flashing neon sign that says important lore here. And yet in online discussions, it's been largely overlooked because it's kind of sandwiched in the middle of the game, overshadowed by the animatronic spaghetti monster ending. And even though I knew that something had to be hidden in here, trying to figure it out was like finding a needle in a haystack.
So what is this? What are we looking at here?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah? Is it obvious, Matt? What is it?
You get to a certain age.
Uh-huh.
And you gotta start taking notes.
Post-it notes?
What?
Yeah, you just leave them around.
What?
Okay.
But also there's robot heads.
So with that incredible insight, I spent literal hours off camera trying to look—
Wait, who is this?
in a haystack.
So what is this? What are we looking at here?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Whoever's voice that is, I like that voice.
Yeah? Is it obvious, Matt? What is it?
You get to a certain age,
Uh-huh.
and you gotta start taking notes.
Post-it notes?
Yeah, you
The
just
behind the scenes guy? Yeah, I'm into his voice. I like it.
leave them around.
Okay.
But also,
What do
there's,
you mean, LOL, Lily? What? You don't expect me to sit here and talk about all the things that make me wet? Hello? GT Live, it's his editor? Yeah, he can be my editor. GT Live. Hold on. Hold on. Somebody has a GT Live love, like, thing. This is so funny. This I'm so sorry, but check out this tweet, you guys. Check out this tweet. This is a funny tweet. I like this tweet. Matt Pat, when one tiny Easter egg in the FNAF movie recontextualizes his entire final timeline theory he's been working on for 6 months. It's so funny. Oh my god. I love that. Anyways, yeah, okay.
robot
Sorry.
heads.
So with that
I
incredible insight, I spent literal hours off camera trying to look at every single post-it note to make sure that I had the full picture. And the answer I got was, do not do that. Learn from my mistakes. It took me so long, only to discover that the game files had been dug up and the post-it textures were just there in 3 simple images. Thanks to just XFOT for uploading these to GitHub. Flush those hours of my life down the toilet. When you study these post-it textures, you
Dude, he must be so mad after doing all sorts of, like, this must happen all the fucking time. You know what I mean? He must just... God.
actually realize that there are 3 phases to the post-it notes. One that's barely legible, another...
Like, I bet every single time a Freddy anything comes out, Stephanie's already ready. She's like, all right, I'll see you in a few months. Bye, hun. You know, good luck. Remember, there's food in the fridge, blah, blah. Like, she just leaves for Europe, and she's like, yeah, my husband's just busy. You know what I mean?
where the spelling and drawing improve slightly, and the final where they become nearly perfect. It looks like someone is trying to learn how to write and draw, slowly getting better over time. And it all begins here with a note written in binary. When you first enter the room, there's a cardboard box in the middle, which, if I were to guess, is Steel Wool trying to draw our attention to the most important post-it clues in what otherwise is a very crowded and busy looking room. On it, we get this binary string.
The post-it room is really interesting. I feel like I have so little context by not playing the game, because then now I'm just like, oh, it's just a post-it room. But I bet it's like really, really interesting when you first see it.
Which translates to, why is I? That's it. The grammar, I think, is intentionally bad because this is a computer coming into consciousness, asking the question, why am I alive? And doing it written in binary, the language of machines, computers, robots. Elsewhere in the room is more binary that translates to...
Honestly, Nacho, understandable. If, right. If Matt is having a great time doing it, if Matt's like, all right, this is it, right? I'm having a great time doing it, and I'm just gonna be gone, and I'm sitting here getting to enjoy the money. Fuck yeah, bro. Get that bag. Do it, bro.
Hide. Whatever this thing is, it's scared and it's confused. It hides until it can better understand what or who it's meant to be. The other illegible phase 1 notes here are random flashing thoughts. The sky, kids, love, random glimpses of memories coming into focus. The phrase, I can feel it, is this creature coming into consciousness. And this right here, you are something family, which looks like Afton family, but it's pretty unclear. In short, it appears to be a machine that started speaking in binary, but as more and more memories start to take hold, it begins to write in normal alphabetic characters.
Because there's not another
when you dive
one.
into the
Fair.
notes from phases
Yeah.
2 and 3, though, things start to get much clearer. It's mainly images and text revolving around birthday parties, happy place, birthday time, family, a pile of presents, some cake, let's get snack, fun, friends forever, pizza time. Nothing particularly earth-shattering for a
Pizza time! Shit, there's food at home, but every single time they say pizza, I'm like, man, pizza sounds good.
series about pizza restaurants. But then there's one post-it in the phase 3 notes that really stands out. The one clue that truly brings together the last 2 months of research. This thing is the linchpin. It's our smoking gun, my friends. And it all boils down to a present.
What the fuck did he say? What the fuck did he call it? What the fuck is that? I don't want to say that word. But what did he just call it?
3 simple words, all for me. The party was all for me. Does that mean anything to you? Because it certainly does for me. You see, in the FNAF survival
what is that?
logbook, a seemingly innocuous workbook full of pizzeria-themed activities, you have 3 voices speaking through the pages.
Party's
Michael
all for
Afton,
you.
writing his answers in red pen, the vengeful spirit Cassidy using lightly faded text, and the
Still not convinced that that technically is Cassidy, but sure.
crying child altering the physical text of
Okay.
the book. One conversation
tell,
that happens
so.
between Cassidy and the crying child plays out like this. Cassidy says, "The party was for you," and the crying child responds, "It was for me. All for me." Suddenly, all the party imagery makes sense. The balloons, the cake, the kids. This is the bite victim, the crying child, coming into consciousness and remembering the birthday party that took his life. And using this context, suddenly everything in
I
these
see.
notes takes
Okay.
on a whole new meaning. In the first phase of notes, we see a crudely drawn house with a set of arrows pointing towards what looks to be a strange set of doors. Maybe another building? Which admittedly doesn't make much sense unless this is the crying child, who, in FNAF 4, would walk down and to the right and then back up to go to Freddy's with his brother every single day. In the phase 3 notes, we see this close-up of a bear.
Freddy's is literally just right next to him? Freddy's is the neighbor?
Which would have been the last thing that the crying child saw before his head got chomped. Blue, yellow, green,
Hey, yo, Disney, catch this guy. And catch this game, Disney. That's Winnie the Pooh right the fuck there. No, I'm just kidding.
would have been the last thing that the crying child saw before his head got chomped. Blue, yellow, green, and red, those are the flashing lights above the Fredbear stage as he gets bit. Or, you know, maybe it's the balloons on the nearby table for someone who can't tell the difference between blue and purple. Even things like hide and no hide relate to the crying child's behavior throughout FNAF 4. He hides under tables, and he is constantly made fun of for it throughout the game. We also see a lot of dialogue about running away, just like on the post-its. Digging deeper, we also start to see other patterns emerging. The number 7 shows up repeatedly as both a set of tally marks as well as a set of 6 faces with a smaller 7th one off.
7 children, 7 children, 7 children. 7 children. 7 children.
Softball Demon 1650 is now boarding. Welcome to Louisville Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
I have no idea what the difference between that and that is.
Off to the side. This ties us directly back to FNAF VR, where we had a glitching purple gravestone for Afton in the middle of 7 normal gravestones. 5 missing children, Charlie the puppet, and the smaller face watching on, the crying child. As he says in other notes, all my friends. There's also repeated use of the number 3. 3 faces.
Oh, my friends!
3 kids, words repeated 3 times like home, 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 and fun, fun, fun. 3 slices of pizza, 3 presents, even just counting to the number.
Did they get an actual child to write some shit like this? Honestly? Because the handwriting is pretty accurate to actual children. What's up, Nacho?
3. So
What's
what
your
would that
question?
mean? Well, think about it. We've seen a lot of references to a house and family throughout these post-its. Seems to me like it's a reference to the 3 Afton kids, Michael, Elizabeth, and the crying child himself. And the thing that brings all of it together isn't a post-it note, but instead the table higher up in the room where we see the staff bots arranged like a family at dinner. A mother and a father.
This is directly above it? This is directly above it? Okay, that's a good question. Nacho asks, if you were Steph married to Matt and all his money, you would accept the backpacking to Europe and all that. First of all, I would not accept backpacking to Europe, okay? I'm a little different. You have to get a Briggs & Riley suitcase, all right? They're like a lifetime warranty. They're super hard to break in the first place, so it's great. And then there's just enough about everything. It's really, there's a lot of different versions where you can make it compact, even though you don't think it's compact. There you go. Right? Briggs & Riley, putting it out there. By the way, if you guys didn't fucking know, all right, I'm an airline mascot, but it's not just a bit. I genuinely love to travel. Briggs & Riley. But what would you say when Matt wanted you to put on the Freddy suit for role-playing in the bedroom? I would ask him, Freddy? Really? Not like a Bonnie or something? Not like Chica? Toy Chica? I'd probably ask. For the more comforting ones. But if they were like, yeah, no, it's Freddy, I would not mind. It's not weird for me. It's not weird. I mean, this is the same bitch that straight up was like, some guy wore a Spider-Man costume and it worked, bro. Seriously. He cosplayed as Spider-Man, and I was like, yep, that's fucking fair. Let's do it. Get down. Right there.
Alongside their 3 kids. 1 red-headed pigtailed girl, 1 boy, and a kid with his head
Shinobi,
bit
that's
off. And just to hammer it
awful.
all home, in the middle of the table, the collectible is a
Wait, so is this he said that this was like directly above it?
table higher child himself. And the thing that brings all of it together isn't a post-it note, but instead the table higher up in the room where we see the staff bots arranged like a family at dinner. A mother and a father alongside their 3 kids.
This being directly above it says a lot. Like, so much.
It's 1 red-headed pigtailed girl, 1 boy, and a kid with his head bit off. And just to hammer it all home, in the middle of the table, the collectible is a poster for Fredbear's Family Diner. The place
There's
of
the
the bites. The place
poster.
where all of this began. It looks like the robot finally figured out who he was, and he started to recreate his family. The robot is the crying child, which by proxy then has to be Gregory. And if you need further proof of humanoid robots in the game, Illy Becky on Reddit caught this detail from Sister Location. Humanoid heads, ones that look very similar to Gregory's face.
Whoa,
and the last
wait.
thing, much to
Hold on. That actually did look kind of similar. I don't want to admit that, but that's true.
everyone's excitement, there's actually a new book series coming out later this year. A new season of Fazbear Frights called Tales from the Pizzaplex, obviously referencing the location in Security Breach. The cover of the first book in the new series? Robot Kid. There it is. Which leads us then to the last puzzle of Security Breach, the retro CDs. For those of you who don't know, there are 16 CDs around the map that you can only find
I'm
once
really excited to hear this one because I need to hear the disapproval of my theory.
upgraded Freddy's eyes. From there, you take the CDs to a hidden room designed to look exactly like Mike's room from Sister Location. These CDs seem to be recordings of the therapy sessions for two patients. Patient 71, who we mentioned last time is clearly Vanessa, and Patient 46, who we never get to hear speak. And over the course of the various sessions, 46 and 71 are set up to be direct opposites of each other. Vanessa likes flowers, Patient 46 does not.
Oh, you like those? The janitor on this floor has a garden and has been putting bouquets in the offices here for years. What's the problem? Oh, the flowers? I'll move them.
Vanessa likes blue skies and doesn't like dark basements. 46 prefers it dark.
I like the blue sky. I don't like dark basements. Oh, right. Too bright. When the shade's pulled, it feels like we're in a cubbyhole or a cave, yeah?
Vanessa doesn't like candy. 46 does.
Would you like a candy? No, thank you. Those have 35 calories apiece. Sure.
Vanessa! My girl! I think you need to stop being an almond mom. The poor girl is going through something, bro. The poor girl, dude, if you're looking at all your candy and you're going, those are 35 calories a piece, like, you did not grow up with a healthy relationship to food. I'll tell you fucking that.
Sure, you can have a candy.
Clearly, we're meant to see these characters as opposites, which is
Now I'm excited to see why Axel hates 46 so much. 46 eats candy.
why so many people online considered that Patient 46 might actually be Vanny, Vanessa's alter ego possessed by Glitch Trap. Or, even more extreme, Vanessa's evil twin sister, considering the fire ending shows us a dead Vanny on the ground and Vanessa looking down from the burning building's roof. But
what? What?
Glitch Trap. Or, even more extreme, Vanessa's evil twin sister, considering the fire ending shows us a dead Vanny on the ground and Vanessa looking down from the burning building's roof. But
what the fuck are you saying? What? How have we glossed over the fact until now that there's two of them? So what happens to the other one? I'm confused as fuck. This is confusing, right? Because as far as we know, this one being security is also kind of like just rude and saying some sus shit. What? What? You used to think that was a ghost of her? See, if somebody had told me, oh yeah, that's a ghost of her, I'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. Because this is way more confusing. Where does this go? And where does the other one go?
let's quickly talk.
Do you not know about each other?
about those two interpretations. First of all, Vanessa and Vanny are the same person. They have to be. All the evidence leading up to this game in places like FNAF Special Delivery have pointed to a woman named Vanessa A getting mind-hacked by Afton and reluctantly following his orders. And in this game, we still have pieces of evidence. For instance, in the CDs, we learned that Vanessa is buying fake fur to make the Vanny costume.
On your breaks, it looks like you were shopping for a costume. You purchased some fake fur material. What are you gonna make?
If she's not the one wearing it, why would she be making it? To me, the fire ending here is meant to be symbolic. We haven't beaten Princess Quest yet, so Vanessa's spirit is still trapped inside that burning building, but her body has died. She is one person. But
Okay. So symbolic. All right. I can take the symbolicness.
Persona of Vanny actually
She's a furry?
be patient
We're all
46.
furries.
Again,
Let's
the
do it.
evidence
I'm
just
down.
doesn't seem to add up to
Fuck
that.
it.
Throughout their sessions, we get multiple indications that the therapist is speaking to a child. The way they speak to patient 46 here.
You don't want me to get in trouble, do you? I could be put in the corner for a timeout. Yeah, you think that's funny, huh?
And again here.
Tragedy always leads to a feeling of loss. It's a hole that feels funny, right?
The way they explain simple words.
And I'm surprised by your knowledge of computers. You're something of a phenom. Do you know what that word means?
Phenom is not a simple word. Phenom is not a simple word. What is a phenom? Phenom. A person who is outstandingly talented or admired, especially an up-and-comer.
It means you have unusual skill, like a hacker.
The way they point out that 46 doesn't fit into the chair.
That chair doesn't really fit you, does it?
They even mention the fact that they specifically work with children.
You know, I work with people of all ages, from little kids to the very elderly.
I understand that therapists would want to treat alters as they see themselves, but this just doesn't seem to fit. At no point do we get an indication that Vanny sees herself as a child. But now let's go back to what we assume we know about 46. They're a kid, they like the dark, they like candy, they're really good with computers.
Okay, that's interesting. Why specifically must you put this bitch here? Right? We're still getting to that point. This is why this visual right here, these visuals that you're putting out, is why you basically got half canceled on Twitter for the crying child is Gregory visual. I'm just saying.
In fact, they're a bit robotic themselves, answering questions in cold, detached ways.
When I read your account of what happened, it came across as, well, more of an objective rather than a subjective narrative. Oh, sorry. You don't know what that means, do you?
Here again, we get another example of the therapist having to explain a relatively simple word. Now, look at our post-it room. It's a dark cave underground, outright labeled as "This is my home." On the central cardboard box is a drawing of candy. And a robot would be emotionally detached and would also be great at hacking. Heck, the therapist does tell patient 46 to write down their feelings.
I suggested you write down exactly what made you so sad and scared.
And if this room isn't an example of that, I don't know what is. Taking it one step further, if I'm right in saying that Gregory is indeed the robot that came into...
It doesn't make sense to me, though, that Gregory would be able to find this therapist. I don't know where these therapy discs are coming from, right? I didn't play the game, but, like, in that case, you would definitely have record of him somewhere.
Consciousness here. That's why he doesn't fit into the chair. He's a kid. That's also the reason Steel Wool couldn't let us hear 46's voice throughout these therapist tapes. It would give away the game. It would immediately take away the mystery of who 46 is since we hear Gregory talk so much. But why would Gregory, a robot kid hiding out in the Pizzaplex, actively be seeking out therapy? He's not in a school of any kind and he's not employed, so it wouldn't be mandated. What is going on here? Well, over the course of the 16 CDs, we listen as both patient 46 and Vanessa visit a total of 5 therapists, all of whom are implied to have been mangled to death by machinery. But the deaths here aren't arbitrary. If you track the tapes, each therapist ends up getting killed off immediately after they start asking Vanessa about encrypted messages that she's been receiving from a mysterious figure.
Your performance reviews are good, but a routine check of your online history has revealed that you spent quite a bit of time with someone in an encrypted conversation. We have transcripts, and I've read them.
Dead the next session.
The messages you're getting seem very manipulative in nature. You know who I'm talking about. Why won't you open up about it? These files are full of details about your life.
Again, dead the next session. When the encrypted messages get brought up to 46, same thing.
When I saw some of your recent encrypted conversation logs, at first, I thought I was looking at more examples of you just talking with yourself. Then I realized it was different. When I studied...
That doesn't seem like a Gregory thing, though. Like, at all. That isn't... Why would Gregory be getting this?
This. It sounds like there is someone else responding to you.
A third therapist bites the dust. The therapists cover all sorts of topics. Bad childhoods, work history. One therapist even confronts patient 46 with all the other dead therapists. Nothing. No response. It's only once the encrypted messages come up that there's...
What happens once you inquire about the other dead therapist then? What's the answer? Because now I'm curious.
Suddenly marked for death. We also know that it's 46 doing the killing here. The dead therapists are a complete surprise to Vanessa.
Hi, go ahead. Sit down.
I don't know you. What happened to...
Oh, we'll get to know each other in no time.
But to 46, just business as usual.
Why did you lie? Why don't we come back to this another day? You're shaking your head as though that's not going to happen.
He's shaking his head because he knows that now she is also marked.
We're still pretty confused about whoever the fuck that is. That's weird.
For death. To me, all of this screams of 46 keeping tabs on Vanessa. He's going to therapy not for himself, but rather to follow
You don't know it's a he.
Her actions, making sure that she's not saying anything that she shouldn't about these encrypted messages. And when the therapists get too close to the truth, they're bumped off. We learn in one of the last CDs that patient 46 isn't being manipulated, but is instead the one doing the manipulation.
I don't think you're being manipulated here. I think you're the one doing the manipulating. No comment? Huh?
Putting two
These therapy discs literally like change so much, and I don't even know what they're changing. It is so interesting.
and two together would tell us that patient 46 is the one communicating with Vanessa. He's controlling her life for some reason. In fact, 46 appears to be the reason Vanessa is working at the Pizzaplex in the first place. One odd detail of the in-game messages is that Vanessa was not supposed to get the security job. In the message marked for deletion, we see that Vanessa's lack of security experience gets the interviewer to not recommend her for the job, and yet she's hired anyway, despite, as it says in another message, no prior qualifications. In both messages, we're told that it's an internal reference coming from the top that got her the job. Someone has brought Vanessa here for a specific purpose, and
dude, they made Vanessa so pretty for no fucking reason.
Who better than a hacker that's clearly established to be in the Pizzaplex's emails? Patient 46, Gregory. In short, it looks like Gregory is manipulating the situation, determined to get Vanessa to work at the Pizzaplex, following her to all her mandated therapy sessions, and ultimately killing off anyone that gets too close to the truth. I mean, after all, Gregory is not opposed to using a bit of violence to get what he wants.
We have to get these.
This is like, I don't know. I don't know this idea of Gregory. It just, I'm like, maybe I'm missing out on it because I'm not playing the game or something, but I don't know about Gregory being a manipulator.
We can upgrade you.
He's also not opposed to lying about it.
Well, that bitch was like, you know, fucking trying to kill him.
It was Chica's. Please be honest. How did you get it?
When I was in the kitchen earlier, she fell into some sort of garbage smasher.
Is she okay?
Well, she's still functional.
But why? Why is he going to all of this effort? Well, combine it with what we saw in the post-it room. There's a family reunion scene. Multiple post-its referring to family, the three siblings, their house. Remember what I said earlier? A robot has come into consciousness and is trying to reclaim what he lost, his family. He wants the family back together, and so he's doing everything in his power to make that happen. Using his hacking skills, he's managed to break into staff files, so he knows that there's something off about Vanessa. Maybe he even knows that his dad's consciousness is inside of her. He's also got his brother and Freddy and his dad in the basement. The family in this game is truly coming together again.
I just, like, even recent evidence supporting this, it makes me feel weird that Gregory is going to these therapy sessions, right? The idea that Gregory is going to these therapy sessions, especially since everybody's like, no, I have no idea who the fuck this kid is. You know what I'm saying? Where do you take a shower, dude? If you've been, like, living here. Are there shower rooms in this fucking pizza place?
Reclaiming what crying child once lost. And that's it. That's the whole theory done. There are definitely no holes or flaws to anything I just said. Don't look any deeper than everything I just told you. All right, fine. There might be a few itty-bitty holes to all of this explanation.
Yeah, really? Nah, of course not.
Namely, some of the info that we get from the last 2 CDs. If Patient 46 is Gregory, then why is he glitching the system to make all the animatronics scarier? If he lured Vanessa to the Pizzaplex, then why would—
Isn't Vanessa... Like, why would... I'm confused.
Would he then be avoiding her throughout the game?
Exactly.
Why would he be surprised to see Afton in the basement if he's trying to bring the family all together? There's also the mystery of the whole parent story. 46 is said to have good parents.
None of what you said in your file about your parents was true. The truth is, you had great parents. A great childhood. Why did you lie?
But how would records of good parenting exist for a robot who presumably had no parents? Or the crying child whose records presumably would say that he was dead? Or even if you don't believe those theories, if 46 is Gregory and Gregory's just a homeless kid, that doesn't sound like he would have had a great childhood or any sort of home life. But the kicker, the one to me that makes this really difficult to explain, is this email that I had long forgotten about from FNAF AR. Strap in for this one, friends. Hey Ness, I hope things are good. I saw you ordered 3 lifelike human male rubber masks, and I was dying to ask what they're for. Sounds to me like a robot kid is confirmed, but it also sounds to me like Vanessa built it or gave rise to this robot kid. If so, then I ask again, why would Gregory be avoiding her throughout the game? I mean, the best I could come up with is that somehow Gregory escaped and is now convinced that Vanessa is trying to shut him down because of his rogue programming. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but then why would he be luring her to the Pizzaplex? It's like one half of each explanation works, but then when you try to connect it back with like the other half of the theory, they end up contradicting each other, which is really frustrating. There are 2 other options. First, the robot kid from the post-it room is entirely brand new, or the second option is it's someone that we never see in the game, Baby. Now, the first option of a brand new character, yeah, it's cool, I guess. I can't really speculate about that. It could literally go anywhere and solve everything. As for option 2, Baby, just like with Gregory, there are certain
If it goes anywhere and solves everything, we might as well just, right? We might as well just.
things that fit and other things that just don't. Baby, like Gregory, could want to put the family back together. Baby has always wanted to make Daddy proud, so she'd be quite happy to kill off therapists that got too close to the truth, just like we see with 46. And she would willingly spread the Afton virus to make the animatronics scary in order to bring Daddy back. If she's using illusion discs, or if she acts like she does in the books, then it's possible that she'd be able to take the form of a child.
New character,
and make
the
up a
ultimate
backstory.
cop-out? I mean, what's an ultimate cop-out of 3 other fucking cop-outs here already? Come on, be real. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing new.
She's also a character that canonically loves disguises, just like Patient 46.
It reminds you of a mask? Like a disguise? Yeah, I can see that. You like the idea of being disguised? Disguises let you be sort of invisible, don't they?
There's also a line about the therapist being able to see Patient 46's eyes.
That's better. On this side of the desk, I can see your eyes.
And we know that Baby's eye color has always been an important detail in the past. But as with Gregory, there are still a number of holes with this line of thinking. Baby/Elizabeth likes flowers. Patient 46 doesn't. We also know Baby hates being in the basement of Sister Location. So then why, as Patient 46, would she prefer to live in a cave rather than blue sky? In short, as I wrap up my overall coverage of Security Breach, I guess I gotta summarize it like this. This game is frustrating from a lore standpoint. Smaller questions like Glamrock Bonnie and Golden Freddy, yeah, those are pretty easy to answer. But when it comes to what this game was actually about, no one theory actually solves it all in a clean way. There are references to every corner of the FNAF universe in here, but as a result, nothing fits cleanly together to solve everything. There are pieces that always dangle or always contradict something else. Do I think the crying child is here based on the post-it room? Yes, absolutely. Is he Gregory? I mean, right now, I think that he's our best option. Is he also Patient 46? It seems like he's trying to be, but there are just a lot of holes there. And there are holes in the Baby theory too, and that honestly just leaves the option of a mysterious third party pulling the strings behind.
This is how I know that I'm like, okay, I understand enough now, right? And like, this is how I know I'm genuinely engrossed in this, because I'm just silent. I'm just like, yeah, right. Interesting. And this is how I know that I'm just like, you know what I mean? I know enough now to be like, yeah, I understand a lot of what you're possibly putting together for this theory. So it's it. This is it. This is it. This is the part of the grieving process. We've done it. We've gotten to the part of the grieving process called acceptance. At the very end, we're here. We're at acceptance. We've done it. Because now I'm just sitting here like, yeah, what else are you saying? You know what I mean?
Behind the scenes, which on one hand would be welcome. I'd love to see a new character inserted into this lore. But on the other hand, it also feels unsatisfying because it's like, well, that came out of nowhere. This franchise...
Oh, wow. Okay, that comes out of nowhere, but not any other half of your fucking theories, bud? All right.
Has never operated like that, so it feels weird for it to start acting that way now. Individually, small pieces of the mystery make sense, but when you take a step back and look at the wider lore of this series, how it connects to other games, how it connects to the...
Did people like Security Breach? I feel like Security Breach was a different feeling from, like, the rest of the FNAF stuff. But, yeah, it just, I feel like Security Breach was not, it was a mess and the lore was an even bigger mess. I feel like, yeah, Security Breach was not anything that regular FNAF people like. Oh, is it broken? See, it seems like it'd be a fun game for somebody like me, which I know FNAF people would not like.
Wider story arc that's been created, that's when things start to fall apart. And I think that is what is so frustrating with this title. So that's what I'm left with. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you seeing things that I'm not? Hopefully it at least sparked some ideas in your head. And hey, if it did, you can let me know live right now. I am officially...
Yeah.
Would you look at that? Nearly 4
The game was extremely
months
buggy at launch. I always feel really bad for games that are buggy at launch because people write you off almost immediately. Remember the Cyberpunk stuff? Like, apparently now Cyberpunk is working fine and everything, but everybody's just like, nah, I have a bad taste in my mouth kind of deal.
FNAF episode. Feels like it's a brand new day for the channel. There have been so many new games, new meta theories, even some classic science episodes thrown in. I'm happy, I'm healthy, life is good. And now, time to relax.
Wait, what the fuck? What happened after a pizza sim? Like, what was the games after Pizza Sim? And don't tell me FNAF 5 and 6. Oh, FNAF VR. Oh, yeah, that is weird. I remember when they were like, oh, all the games are just to mitigate the allegations. And I'm like, that shit don't make sense. You wouldn't make games like that to mitigate allegations, dude. The other games are kind of like terrifying to children and shit. I see. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. I can understand that. That's helpful. Thank you, Shinobi.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show where old habits and old animatronics die hard. Today we're talking about the 12th and final installment of the Fazbear Frights book series, Felix the Shark. That's right, friends, the final book. Until
quote-unquote final book.
The next 3 come out later this year.
Bro!
Anyway, let's not think about that.
That's crazy. That's way too much. There's way too much.
Felix. Now, this final book is special. Just like all the others, it too is a collection of 3 short, spooky stories vaguely connected to the wider FNAF lore. But we're...
At this point, I feel like they're just trying to, like, create a Goosebumps series. Really.
This one is different, is that it's meant to be a collection of cut stories. As the official description reads, quote, stories that didn't make the cut for the first 11 books. Which, okay,
my
they
God,
did appear in
11?
numbers 1 through 11, but still, they wound up getting published anyway as the 12th one. Is that such a big deal? In fact, because they're last, they're probably in the most important position of any of the stories.
No, I feel like it's just kind of like bloopers at the end of the credits, if that's what they're trying to say.
And while you might assume that they were cut because they were weaker or lesser than the 33 other Fazbear frights that were produced, it's not really true. You cut the story about an animatronic shark, but you kept the one where a boy turns into a traffic sign. You cut girl solves dead body shoved into animatronic suit mystery, but kept tiny guppy bodies. You cut girl solves dead body shoved into animatronic suit mystery, but kept tiny guppy bodies. You cut a security guard named Mike going around collecting haunted FNAF memorabilia, and yet kept Fazgoo. The truth is, we don't really know why these were cut. It could have been a quality thing.
Kind of interesting. Yeah, that is really interesting.
Or maybe, just maybe, it could have been that they were intentionally designed to set up secret puzzles that we were meant to solve, and those puzzles never got fully realized. Spoiler.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Spoiler alert,
okay.
I think it might have been that last one.
All right,
I believe that Scott was planning to use this final book as a launching point, the start of a real-world treasure hunt that would have required using the books, the games, even stuff like the coloring.
All right, that's some coping. That's some coping. That's not coping. That's just cope. That's cope as fuck, bro. What is this? Gravity Falls? You're gonna go out and you find yourself a fucking triangle in the middle of the Oregon woods? That seems so cope.
Book in order to crack. I suspect that this was a riddle so far-reaching and so complex, it would have required the cooperation of FNAF theorists from across the globe. Today, I'm gonna explain the clues that led me to this conclusion, but more
it would have been cool. Like, that would have been sick, but I don't know. You specifically thinking that is kind of cope. Maybe by the end of this video, you know.
importantly, I'm gonna ask you for your help. You see, while I'm reasonably confident this thing was never finished, I'm not sure. I can't be sure unless you all double check.
That is so funny, Axel.
A few years ago, I asked for all your help in solving the security logbook, and a day later, we discovered the name of Cassidy. Today, I'm gonna ask you for something similar. I'm gonna take you on a journey through some weird corners of FNAF lore and some loose threads that I see in this new book, and then I'm gonna ask you for the favor. I need you to help me either solve this thing once and for all, or debunk it. And who knows, maybe this is the push that we need to get the next major answer to the game's lore. But before you help me with the lore, I was wondering if you'd help me in another way. It's time for our newest collection of Theoryware merch. And as always, you checking out the items goes a long way to help fund everything that we're doing over here on the channel.
Game Theory
this collection in particular is
bikini.
going to be especially fun if you're a fan of analog horror, the X-Files, or Area 51, because it's all about conspiracy boards, sky watching, and secret undercover fact-finding missions. With neon green alien goo, this one is perfect for your room or your desk.
Give me the bikini!
It's also a completely... This is the T-Man sunglasses. These things are perfectly balanced. Green on the give them an air of sophistication. Historically,
it gives me very like Venom vibes.
I've struggled to love that right now. I don't know if I've ever felt that.
This is a summer collection. Why is there a jacket?
That good in a picture in my
jacket has thumb holes?
My life. And if it can make me feel that good posing in an awkward photo shoot, imagine how great you'll feel in a course complete with thumb holes. Also,
I don't know. There's just something about... I want to know what the idea is behind putting thumb holes in your merchandise, right? Because like for me, I'm like, yeah, thumb holes are comfy sometimes, but like, why do people want thumb holes?
It wouldn't be a new Theoryware merch drop without a slew of new hoodies, t-shirts, and jackets. All of it with embroidered details to...
You're telling me there's no content, bros army?
These items are quality that you can feel.
Hold on.
This isn't just your typical YouTuber spray-on design merch.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? This sucks! There's no bikini! Give me the bikini!
Unwrap the secret FNAF ARG. Let's start by breaking down the stories in Felix the Shark, shall we?
Or as an outside... I don't know. Never mind.
The final story, You're the Band, is probably the most obviously related to existing FNAF lore. In it, a small boy named Timmy becomes obsessed with everyone's favorite pizza murder franchise, Freddy Fazbear's. His mother finds him a strange Freddy mask on the internet and gives it to him for his birthday. After putting it on, Timmy starts to change. He doesn't like the things he used to, he becomes moody and aggressive, he even yells about protecting the others when Granddad walks towards him with a knife. Eventually, Timmy is led to an abandoned Freddy Fazbear's building by a shadowy figure. The whole thing gives off some
very solid Midnight Motorist vibes. In order to rescue him, his mother teams up with a former Freddy's security guard named Mike. Turns out the Freddy mask was possessed by one of the children from the original Fazbear murders. When Timmy put on the mask, the spirit transferred into his body, which a children from the original Freddy guard named Mike. Turns out the Freddy mask was possessed by one of the children from the original Fazbear murders. When Timmy put on the mask, the spirit transferred into his body, which allowed it to control him. When Mike and Timmy's mom arrive at the restaurant, Timmy is on stage in Freddy's position, performing alongside Bonnie and Chica. After getting attacked by the puppet, Mike manages to get the Freddy mask back onto Timmy, which captures the spirit. He then puts the mask back onto the original Freddy head, getting the spirit back to where it belongs. Now, I gotta admit, I got really excited when I read the story. We've suspected for a while that FNAF 1 security guard Mike Schmidt was really Michael Afton going from location to location to undo the evils of his father, William. That's why we play as Mike through pretty much every installment of the series up through Ultimate Custom Night. It's why Mike's name
Yeah, but one of the names is Jeremy, so...
appears in Sister Location, why Fazbear Frights burns down in FNAF 3, and why the security guard in FNAF 2 is fired for tampering with animatronics and odor, just like Mike was in FNAF 1. Up until now, that theory's never been confirmed, but this story seems to be strong evidence for exactly that idea. A security guard named Mike going around collecting the old artifacts from Freddy locations in order to help free the spirits of those trapped within. So that was already pretty cool.
I'm not convinced that's freeing the spirits, but you do collect them, yeah. And Fritz, yeah, and Fritz.
And totally made reading this book worthwhile. Anytime we can get more evidence to support a theory within the franchise, absolutely worth it. But well,
I wonder if he has like an entire desktop / monitor filled with just different little like folders, and in each folder, the folders are actually named after the theories, right? And in them, they're like this for real.
The band was explicitly lore heavy. The other two stories were equally fascinating, but for different reasons. There were details that felt odd or out of place, and comments from characters that seemed oddly specific in a way that just triggered my lore hunting senses. In the title story, Felix the Shark,
at this point, right, in this, I don't know, it would be funny. At this point, how far we are in FNAF, what if they're just messing around? What if they just tossing some random ass shit in there? I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't do that, right? Because think about it. Would you? If you had a successful ARG lore story game, everything, would you? And everybody is like hanging on to your every second of a word. Wouldn't you consider just putting some random shit in there?
We follow a young man named Dirk who's reminiscing with his friends about their shared experiences with Freddy Fazbear's. However, Dirk's memory is slightly different to everyone else's. He's convinced that there was an extra animatronic, a shark named Felix. When his friends make fun of him, Dirk sets off on a cross-country quest to prove that he's not crazy. It takes him 6 restaurants, but Dirk eventually does learn the truth. It turns out Felix was made by the owner of one very specific Freddy Fazbear's after his son tragically drowned. Why would that lead him to a shark animatronic? Because it was a shark that actually pushed the body back to shore. Couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. Eventually, Dirk does manage to locate Felix. The whole FNAF pizzeria is hidden inside an abandoned water park. But the weird part isn't the where, but rather the how of finding Felix. You see, Dirk is only able to find the pizzeria using a series of clues that are found in a random novel written by the creator's daughter. In-universe, Felix's creator also had a daughter who grew up to become a popular author. And in one of her books, The Dogged Dogmatist, she hides a series of clues in plain sight within the book's dialogue. These clues ultimately prove meaningless to the characters in the book because they weren't meant for the characters. They were instead meant for the readers, to give them information they needed to find Felix. It is very weird. Anyway,
is it weird? Is it like you're reading a book trying to give you slight lore bits here and there to find out other parts of your theory or non-theories, and you're questioning that one of the stories is about someone who writes books to give clues on how to find out more about this guy's Felix the Shark theory or non-theory? Is it weird? There's a difference between considering putting random shit in and actually putting random shit in. I would definitely consider it, but I probably wouldn't do it. Would anybody actually do it? That's what I want to know. I have to believe that at least somebody would actually do it.
Dirk figures all of this out and confronts the author. She gives him her butterfly necklace, and he uses all of this Indiana Jones style to unlock a secret key hidden in the bottom of an empty pool at the water park. The key unlocks the path to the secret
hold on.
hidden in the butterfly necklace. Weird. Anyway, Dirk figures all of this out and confronts the author. She gives him her butterfly necklace, and he uses all of this Indiana Jones style to unlock a secret key hidden in the bottom of an empty pool at the water park. The key unlocks the path to the secret Freddy's, where Dirk finally finds Felix. And then Dirk dies by climbing into the tank with Felix, because these characters always have to die in the stories. It's dumb, but you know, so be it. Anyway, you see what's so weird about all this, right? Out of nowhere, this story is talking about clues to a real world location hidden inside of another book. Clues that are meaningless.
Again, I don't think it's that. How is that weird? You're kind of. Oh, wait. This is about his theory. Hold on. Isn't this about his theory to the fact that there might be a real world location where things are hidden?
To the characters, but meaningful to the readers. Not only did this stand out to me as a suspiciously meta moment, but it also got me to immediately think about the previous Fazbear Frights installment, Prankster. You see, in
I don't think he talked about this one. I don't remember this one.
preparation for the release of Felix the Shark, I wanted to refresh myself on all the previous stories. There are 33 of these things after all. It's a lot to keep track of.
You read all of them?
So I turned to another book, the recently released Ultimate Guidebook, which, if you don't know, has summaries of literally everything.
All right. Which one of you bitches has this?
That's ever happened in the Freddy Fazbear universe, from the games to the books to the fan theories. Basically, if
Why did I watch this? Why couldn't I have just gotten the Ultimate Guidebook, damn it?
you're trying to catch up with the series quickly, it's definitely worth a read. And since this is the third and final addition to the book, one written by Scott Cawthon, you know that whatever is deemed most relevant for the lore is going to be called out within its pages. Anyway, each Fazbear Fright story has its own little summary page providing a general plot overview as well as a list of connections between the story and the games. Not everything here is useful, but it definitely gets you into the mindset of the authors, and it helps you see some of the connections that the stories were trying to make. Again, if it doesn't make the cut to appear in this book,
You
you're
do?
likely barking
Well,
down
apparently
the wrong path. Likewise, if something
early
is
editions
called
were a
out within
mess,
these
so
pages,
how-
it's at least worth
which
considering
edition
when
do you
theory
have?
crafting. TLDR, as I was getting close to the end of my refresher course, I noticed this in the new lead section for the title story of Book 11, Prankster. Quote, some of the puzzle clues, such as Stinger, Moot, and even more frights, may have implications beyond the plot. Careful readers may want to give these scenes a second.
Some of the puzzle clues, such as Stinger Moo and even more frights, may have implications beyond the plot. Okay.
Look. Implications beyond the plot, you say?
Wait, Leighton, I can't remember. Are you into FNAF? I keep feeling like you are, but also that you're not.
Just like with Felix the Shark, it appears that the Ultimate Guide is also pointing us to meta clues within a different book. Clues that are meant for us, the readers, rather than for the characters in the story. So, I went back to Prankster.
Wait,
in
hold
this
on.
story, us, the readers, also pointing us to plot, you say? Just like with Felix the Shark, it appears that the Ultimate Guide is also pointing us to meta clues within a different book. Clues that are meant
But why specifically
for us, the
Prankster?
readers, rather than for the characters in the story. So, I went back to Prankster. In this story, the main character Jeremiah is trying to save his friends from a mysterious glitchy voice that's freed itself from a FNAF VR game that's being worked on at the company. Sounds pretty darn familiar. Along the way, he's presented with a series of riddles. Stinger Moot, which is an anagram of testing room. Give me one and I'll make more, each one like the one before. What am I? Your next clue contains even more frights. To get there, you just need to follow the lights. I see you're moving closer to your goal, follow the lights to make things right, and for the key to find where your friends hide, roll up your sleeves and reach inside. Now, I've gone back and forth over these clues multiple times, but it felt like a lot of them were just pointing back to stuff that we'd already discussed in previous theories. The give me one and I'll make more felt like a reference to the glitch trap cult, using FNAF VR's tapes to infect more playtesters. The following the lights clues maybe could be a reference to Princess Quest, where we have to light the lanterns to reveal the truth and eventually set Vanessa free, but none of this was new information. We've talked about all of this stuff in depth. Security Breach seemed to confirm some of this stuff, and to be honest, the connections I could make were speculative at best. I tried rearranging the letters into anagrams, didn't really get anything interesting. I even considered that maybe the Stinger, Moot, and even more frights clues were literal. The stingers of the Fazbear Frights books were the epilogues about the Stitch Raids, so maybe if the stinger is Moot, then the Stitch Raids stuff is ultimately meaningless. Even more frights might refer to the next set of books, Tales of the Pizzaplex. I mean, sure, that's a valid
it's the
explanation,
okay.
but it was
That's why he said final. It's final of the Fazbear Frights ones.
speculation at best, and also pretty darn lame. Why would you go to all the trouble of hiding meta clues like this about stuff that feels ultimately underwhelming? These aren't really questions that people were asking
It's maybe underwhelming to you, but you don't know.
themselves, you know? So, at least according to the Ultimate Guide, there's definitely something hidden inside of that prankster story, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. But there was even more that was suspicious with Felix the Shark. You see, Dirk doesn't just find the secret Freddy's thanks to written clues inside of a random book. There's also a very specific drawing in the middle of that book. Here's the full quote when—
Look, it's a lily!
Describing the Dogged Dogmatist, the book where the hidden clues are from. Quote, the man's search for the creature was convoluted on the whole, but certain lines in the book went beyond convoluted. They just didn't make sense. Neither did the drawing in the middle of the book, an ornate and frilly sketch of what looked like butterflies and flowers. The drawing was never referred to in the book, and it couldn't be related to any of the story. Were the odd lines and drawings some kind of code? For what purpose? And that's not the only time drawings are brought up in this one story. There was yet another odd reference in Felix the Shark that jumped out to me. Quote again, I'd forgotten all about Freddy's, but yeah, now I remember. I loved the Freddy's coloring books. That's what started my drawing. Eventually, I got tired of coloring and just drew the figures. Last year, the official FNAF coloring book released, which for a normal franchise would be a big ol' who cares moment. But here, where the biggest character reveals—
This is so adorable.
For a normal franchise would be a big ol' who
Pika Pika.
cares moments. But here, where the biggest character reveals happened in
Good
a
detail,
spin-off
good
children's
detail.
activity book, yeah, I wouldn't put anything past this franchise. So it felt strange to mention a real-world item for it only to mean nothing. So, of course, I bought myself the coloring book and the official house.
I'm honestly surprised that it took you reading into this before you actually bought the coloring book. Like, I assume any single Five Nights at Freddy's thing that comes out, you're like, I need to have it. Do you think he has a FNAF shrine in his house?
To draw
Like,
book.
why wouldn't he?
I went through the pages over and over and over again, but the only thing I was drawing
And
was a
the draw
blank.
book.
Seriously though, I couldn't find anything. Loads of cool pieces of artwork, like this twisted chica that's only ever mentioned by name, but nothing major. I checked with black lights, I heated up a page or two to see if it would reveal some invisible ink. Nothing. Or at least nothing that I could find. And then it hit me. What if this wasn't about solving a mystery within the story, but instead something bigger, something more real? The clues in Dirk's book didn't make any sense until you were in the right place at the right time. This could all be hinting at an ARG, where just like Dirk, if you find the location, suddenly the clues that people had been theorizing about for months start to fall into place.
Wait.
Thing that I lights, I hear chica that's only ever mentioned by name, but nothing major. I checked with black lights, I heated up a page or two to see if it would reveal some invisible ink. Nothing. Or at least nothing that I could find. And then it hit me. What if this wasn't about solving a mystery within the story, but instead something bigger, something more real? The clues in Dirk's book didn't make any sense until you were in the right place at the right time. This could all be hinting at an ARG, where just—
But at the same time, it's like, what does that have to do with the flowers and shit that you just brought up?
like Dirk, if you find the location, suddenly the clues that people had been theorizing about for months start to fall into place. Which leads us to the final story of Felix the Shark, The Scoop. In this story, a young girl named Mandy is an online FNAF theorist. No joke, she even signs off one of her posts by saying, and I quote, "I can't share all my secret facts yet until I solve this game theory." Anyway, Mandy digs through the code of FNAF 3, literally FNAF 3 the game. It is mentioned explicitly, only to discover a hidden picture of a building. She tracks it down and she learns about a real-life missing children's incident. After a few nightmares where the spirit of the dead child appears, she ends up going to the location only to find an old—
Wait, this is a story?
Felix, no joke, The Scoop. In this story,
Oh, this is in The Scoop.
she
Okay,
learns
okay.
about somebody finding the missing
Sorry, hold on.
missing children, only to discover a hidden picture of a building. She tracks it down and she learns about a real-life
This is very meta and very cool. I like this story already.
missing children's incident. After a few nightmares where the spirit of the dead child appears, she ends up going to the location only to find an old animatronic bear giving off a nasty smell. Surprise, surprise, the kid was inside of there the whole time. Mandy is praised as a hero for finally finding the missing child, and she closes out her blog by saying, quote, "I will probably never know for certain how this mysterious building is connected to the FNAF universe. The only thing I am certain of is if the creator wanted us to know, I think he would tell us."
Wait, what do you mean you have no idea how this building is connected to the FNAF universe? You found a kid inside of an animatronic puppetry thing, all right? That's not enough of like a FNAF call out? Hello?
Wow. Just wow. Feeling a bit attacked, not gonna lie. Though, in my defense, if we waited for Scott to tell us anything, we'd know next to nothing about this franchise's lore. Just saying. Anyway, outside of the heavy references...
Aw, somebody's a little upset. Somebody's a little upset that Scott called you out.
in this story to theorists in the real-world game of FNAF 3, the weirdest thing about this one is that it contains a lot of specific details as to where the events of the story take place. 33 Fazbear Frights in, and no other story in the franchise features this level of detail. The cities, the street names, file names, locations of buildings, details that are seemingly inconsequential to
Winter
the greater
Shadow
story.
34 is now boarding. Welcome to Louisville Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
When Mandy finds this mysterious image in the game files, she traces it back to Utah. Yes, the actual US state. This fact is further solidified when Mandy's mom takes her on a business trip to Cedar City, a real city in Utah, to complete the investigation. Now this is where the trail starts to go cold, because what Mandy's looking for is an old cinema on Willowfield Road in Peace Valley, which after a lot of Google searches I can tell you just doesn't exist, at least not in Utah. However, in the story we do learn that Peace Valley is only 15 minutes on highway from Cedar City, so I looked up where you can drive to in 15 minutes from the center of Cedar City, and it turns out there's a very small town just to the south called Canaraville. So I hopped onto Google Street View to check out other details that the book mentioned, like the old cinema, which used to be a pizzeria, as well as having a post office on the corner. Unfortunately, neither of these things seem to exist in Canaraville. They do have a post office, and it's near a corner, but it's more like the middle of the street. And so shy of me
It's near a corner, but it's not really at the corner.
buying a plane ticket to go to the middle of nowhere Utah myself, my options were
Holy shit, MadPat Air?
once again drying up. So, okay, but what about the actual game? The game Mandy is playing is specifically called out to be FNAF 3. I wondered if Scott had maybe retroactively put a file into the game that maybe everyone's missed, so I went over to Steam and looked at the update logs, but the game hasn't been updated since April of 2015, and I very much doubt that Scott's been playing a 7-year-long con, especially since Into the Pit, the first Fazbear Frights book, didn't hit store shelves until December of 2019. But Mandy wasn't just playing FNAF 3, it's explicitly mentioned that she's playing the FNAF 3 mobile port. So I took a look at those update logs. Same situation. The game hasn't been updated since February of 2020. Now, we don't know when this story got cut in the 2 years of Fazbear Frights run, so it could have been in existence then, but I'll be honest, I do not have the elite hacker skills to...
Well, you have to remember, this ended up being something that, because you said it yourself, Matt, that this ended up something that got cut, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't, like, help. You know, they're cut. They're cut, so maybe whatever is supposed to be there or not supposed to be there just isn't there anymore, okay, buddy?
Bust open a mobile game to look for the files. And so, just like that, I was out of options, out of clues, out of ideas. Gotta be honest, I feel kind of defeated on this one. Weeks of looking through these books trying to find something that just wasn't clicking.
ISO Caesar is now boarding. Welcome to Louisville Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
Gravity Falls ARG vibes. For those of you who don't know, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Gravity Falls.
Of course, it's one of your favorite TV shows of all time, but I'll give it to you for this one because Gravity Falls is fire. I love it.
Did this massive globe-spanning ARG back in 2016.
Yeah.
It was a series that was all about hidden mysteries, ciphers, secret codes, complete with a book, much like the survival logbook that you could buy that contained puzzles and secrets for the fan community to solve.
I have it!
And this ARG, launched after the conclusion of the show, tasked fans of the series from all corners of the map to work together in a quest that would eventually lead them to a statue of the show's villain, Bill Cipher, hidden out in the middle of the woods. Maybe FNAF was seeding out clues for something similar.
But obviously not enough. So,
Or maybe there were plans to do a similar sort of treasure hunt, but the plans got scrapped along the way.
Right.
I can't be sure, but there were just too many weird details here that didn't seem to be mere coincidences. Regardless, I'd been bested, but that didn't mean I was done. The last time I felt like this was when the survival logbook released, but instead of giving up, I threw the clues that I'd noticed out to you guys, the theorist community, to help me solve it, and you came through. We found Cassidy's name, a name that has since been confirmed by Scott himself. So here I am again at the end of my tether, asking you for help once more. It seems like something's here, but if it is, I can't figure it out on my own.
But you have to say it also. It's like, you said it yourself. Maybe it got scrapped. If it got scrapped, then what else are you trying to figure out?
Maybe you're a theorist from Utah and you know the locations I'm talking about. Maybe you do know how to break open the files of a mobile game. Maybe you're as obsessed with this franchise as I am, and you too have the coloring book, and you notice something on those pages that I don't. We haven't let FNAF beat us yet, and we're sure as heck not gonna let it happen today.
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess never mind. You kind of have. You kind of have.
If you think you've gotten yourself some answers, or maybe just another lead, head on over to the Game Theorist subreddit to post your findings. I'm gonna be keeping a very close eye on this one, cause like you, I wanna see this franchise solved. Link is down in the description below to check out the Game Theorist subreddit. And speaking of what's below the video, one final reminder about the new Theoryware, which is available now. It's one of the biggest launches that we've done in
Let me use the bathroom real quick and I will be right back. Everybody get up and use the bathroom or just stand and stretch and get some water or eat something.